Accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative. Latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. You've got to spread joy up to the maximum. Bring gloom down to the minimum. Have faith or pandemonium. Liable to walk upon the scene. To illustrate my last remark, Jonah and the whale, Noah and the ark. What did they do just when everything looked so dark? Man, they said we better accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative. Latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. No, don't mess with Mr. In Between.
Mr. Up, I was wondering where you were. You're 5 minutes late. It's just not like you.
Well, Miss Charity, Miss Rosa's old jalopy, why, it's stalled again.
Oh, no. I've been meaning to talk to her about that car. It's just not reliable. Mm-hmm. You know, I worry when she gets out in the car.
Yeah, she really loves that jalopy, doesn't she?
I know.
Well, has Miss Rosa ever thought about purchasing a more reliable car?
I don't know. I don't think she'd want to part with it. And she doesn't even have hardly any money. Hey, you know what? Maybe she could get a loan from you, Mr. Looney.
A loan?
Yeah.
Miss Rosa?
Yeah.
Please.
Isn't that good?
Say, why couldn't Miss Rosa get a loan?
Yeah.
Listen, Rose is probably, 80 years old? I mean, she can't guarantee me the money back. She can't even guarantee anybody she's going to be around tomorrow.
Well, I thought you banker types, you were supposed to help people.
Right.
Why, she's one of the most respected people in Faithville.
That's right. And her word is as good as gold.
Listen, I didn't really mean to insult the two of you, but really, I mean, Miss Rose is just not the kind of person that a banker would want to give a loan to. It's not a good investment.
Oh.
Well, that doesn't matter anyhow. Well, I'll fix Miss Rosa's car up better than brand new.
Good.
Well, you know, those parts for that car, Mr. Up, are going to cost you a pretty penny. I mean, it's just not a good business venture, you know.
Hey, don't you be worrying about my business adventures.
Yeah.
As long as you don't come to my bank for the money, I don't care what you do.
Well, you don't have to worry about that. Well, I wouldn't come to you for anything. Yeah. I've got my own sources. Mm-hmm. And you just carry on doing whatever it is you're doing there.
Yeah. I'm working on my campaign.
Your campaign?
Well, yeah, I'm sure you've heard there's a position open on town council.
You're running for town council?
Yeah. Any reason why I shouldn't?
Well, there's probably...
No, but Mr. Leave and Mr. Dow.
Yeah, there you go.
They're both running, too. Mm-hmm. And they've been members of Faithville for a very long time.
Oh, yeah, a long time.
Mr. Leave and Mr. Dow.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's always better to win in a democratic way than just win because you're the only one running, eh?
Well, you know, they are very liked and respected in this town.
Respected?
Yes, and I think you're going to have some stiff competition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, lots of them.
Yeah.
Miss Charity, I mean, Mr. Doubt and Mr. Leave, they're very good at what they do. But what does a one-room store owner and a small-town hardware man know about running a town? I mean, I can really put Faithville on the map.
Well, I thought Faithville already was on the map.
Mr. Up, I don't literally mean on the map.
Oh.
I just mean with the right kind of visionary guidance, Faithville can be a place where people really want to invest in.
Well, I happen to think Faithville is already a place to invest in, don't you?
Absolutely.
Well, I'm not trying to ruffle any feathers, but I just think that there should be somebody on town council that doesn't have the small town mentality around here.
I think he's talking about the size of our brains or something.
Mr. Never mind. We're
Oh,
gonna
people.
see who's gonna be winning this.
Really?
Well, my time's up here. Gotta get back to work. Charity, thanks for the coffee. I'll see you at the polls.
What? Really? Should have learned to walk first
I think so.
before he runs.
Praise the Lord. I had forgotten about the interest money from my bonds. Now Mr. Upton fixed my car. I sure would miss that old girl if I didn't have her. The Waterwalls sure could use a good Samaritan. Such a shame they had to go to Mr. Looney and ask for a loan. But folks can't do without a refrigerator. And to think he said they weren't a good risk.
Hello, Pastor Shepherd speaking. How may I help you?
Hello, Pastor Shepherd. It's Miss Rosa. I hope I'm not interrupting you.
Oh, not at all, Miss Rosa. It's always a blessing to hear from you.
Well, Pastor, today I was blessed with some surprise money, and I just wanted to pass that blessing along.
Oh, Miss Rosa, you don't stop, do you?
Well, my daddy always said, you can't outgive God. And I just happen to know that the Waterwells are in need of a refrigerator. The young couple need a break, you know.
Well, you're right, of course. You can outgive God. And I'm sure the Waterwells will be very grateful.
Oh, Pastor, I don't want them to know it came from me.
You don't want them to know where it came from?
Well, I was hoping that we could get the refrigerator over to them without me having to do anything but sit back and enjoy their surprise.
Well, I'm sure the store would deliver the refrigerator to the house.
Well, praise the Lord.
Miss Rosa, are you sure you don't want them to know where it came from? I know that they would love to show their appreciation to you.
I'm positive, Pastor. And besides, it's not me doing the blessing anyway. It's the Lord.
Okay, Miss Rosa, whatever you like. I just wish more people were as humble as you are.
And how soon do you think we can arrange this?
Well, I'll get on it right away.
Excellent. Oh, I'm going to need to find a way to get that money over to you.
Well, since you don't want anyone to know, why don't you come over to my office around 3? My schedule is clear after that, and we'll set it up, okay?
Excellent.
God bless you.
God bless you, Pastor.
Bye now.
Thank you.
Hello, Frankie. Staying out of trouble, I hope.
Where's Officer Wisdom?
It's his day off.
Sad thing when an officer takes a day off. I mean, who knows what could happen?
Actually, Faithville's a pretty safe little town. I don't think there's too much that could go wrong.
Well, you never know. There's some mighty intelligent thieves out there. And these guys are really slick.
Really?
Yep. Why, something could be going on right under your nose. You wouldn't even know it.
Is that so? A crime happening right under my nose.
Now, don't feel bad. I mean, some people are just smarter than others.
You know, I imagine it was one of those really smart crooks who stole Miss Charity's pies this morning.
That was real slick, wasn't it?
How do you figure a smart guy like that was able to snitch those pies? I wish I knew who they were. You know, they'll probably go down in history with some of those great and notorious criminals.
Let me tell you, it was really cool.
First of all, Freddie distracted Miss Charity, and then I. Hey, wait a minute. You tricked me. That's entrapment.
No, Frankie, you trapped yourself. Proverbs 27, verse 2. Let another praise you, not your own mouth. Someone else, not your own lips. In other words, Frankie, it's your bragging that got you caught. Now, come on, Frankie. You stay right there while I go find Freddie.
Great, family reunion.
Well, Mayor Hope, the campaign proposals are in order and all of the candidates are officially entered into the files.
Great. This is going to be some election.
There were a couple of surprises on the list.
Surprises? What surprises?
Mr. Doubt, you're going to have to make more noise when you come in, and we're going to have to get a bell on our door, Mayor Hope.
Well, who's a surprise? Well, you're not insinuating that seeing my name on the list was a surprise, are you?
Oh, Mr. Doubt, your name on the list doesn't surprise us.
Especially since you told everyone before the final date of application that you were going to run.
And win.
Yeah. Well, you know, what this town needs is a man of confidence, someone who could lead Faithville into the future. No place for a doubter. Ooh, well, I guess I better not say that in my acceptance speech.
Oh, you already have your acceptance speech, do you, Mr. Doubt?
Well, like I told you, man of confidence. Ooh.
There are a few other fine men on the list, Mr. Doubt.
Who?
Mr. Doubt, we can't tell you that until the town meeting when we announce and introduce all of the candidates.
We wouldn't want to give you an unfair advantage, now would we, Mr. Doubt?
Let's just say, may the best man win.
Oh, he will. He will, yeah. He'll win.
Oh, hey, it's just the two guys I wanted to see. Miss Rosa's car broke down.
Mr. Up, I'm sorry, but we are very busy right now.
But I need somebody to...
Shh, Mr. Up. We're trying to do some strategy here. You're the town mechanic. Why don't you take care of Miss Rosa's car?
Hey, what's all this stuff?
Oh, Mr. Cutright and I, we're planning my speech for the town council election.
Yep, and I'm his campaign manager.
I could see.
Campaign manager? I never would have thunk it.
Mr. Up, no one would expect you to think of things like that.
Hey, what do you mean by that?
Mr. Up, what he meant was, well, you're a wonderful, simple kind of a guy, and we all love you, but we all gotta do what we do best. And Mr. Up, you're best at fixing cars.
And you just leave the politicking and managing of the town to those that can.
Well, but...
Shh. Shh. We got some strategy here to think over.
But
Never mind, never mind. Pride comes before a fall, and it looks like there's gonna be a lot of falling going on in Faithville.
Charity, can we get some more coffee over here?
Oh, yeah, and a couple of pieces of pie. You know, we got a lot of thinking to do here.
Yeah.
Coming right up, Your Highnesses.
Well, I guess I'll go and get started on fixing Miss Rosa's car all by myself.
Mr. Up, you're still here?
Oh, Miss Rosa. Hi. It's always a pleasure. Come on in. Have a seat.
Hello, Pastor. I just wanted to get this over to you as soon as I could.
Well, God bless you, Miss Rosa. You're always so faithful in your giving. Oh, by the way, how's your old car running?
I'm afraid she's not doing that well. Actually, that's why I had to get the offering over to you before I was tempted.
Tempted? You, Miss Rosa?
Well, Pastor, the old car does hold a lot of memories for me. And at my age, I don't think I'll be purchasing a new one. Can you imagine Mr. Looney's face if I were to ask him for a loan? No. I'll fix her up with what I've got, and if that's not enough, well, I suppose it's the Lord's problem. He's been taking mighty good care of me so far.
Miss Rosa, I really wish the entire congregation had the same measure of faith as you have.
Well, We're all going from glory to glory. And right now, I need to head over and cast my vote for the new member of town council.
I was just on my way there myself. I'll go with you.
Oh, praise the Lord. Wait, thank you, Pastor.
And remember, a vote for leave is a vote for progress. I am ready to lead. Who's ready to follow?
Thank you, Mr. Lee. Well, ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, we have one more candidate, and that is Mr. Upton.
Ladies and gentlemen, and honored council members, who am I kidding? Listen, we're all friends and neighbors here. When we moved to Faithville, we believed that God was ordering our steps. I had a speech all prepared. I wanted to do things proper and all, but I'm just going to talk from my heart. When I came to Faithville, I was kind of a rough character, and you fine people of Faithville took me in and made me part of the family. And while we know that not all families are perfect, and sometimes we can get on each other's nerves, but at least in a family, we know that they're with you in the bad times and they'll laugh with you in the good times. Now, we've heard an awful lot about taking Faithville into the future and making it a big and thriving town full of prosperity. And while that all sounds good and all, no doubt about it, no pun intended, do you know it would increase all of our businesses? Why, Mr. Lee, he wouldn't have a small grocery store anymore, but he'd have one of those big fancy shopping centers. And while Mr. Doubt, he'd have a great big huge hardware store. He'd have to hire all kinds of people to help him run it. And while the bank would have lots of new business, and myself, I'd have that 2-bay garage I've always dreamed about. So I guess what these fine men say is true. But I ask you this, is that what we really want for Faithville? Why, this week I went to Middletown. I was there looking for car parts, and it was a big, thriving town. And while I was driving around, my car broke down right in the middle of town. I waited there for 2 whole hours before someone stopped to help me. And even at that, some people were shouting some nasty things at me. Why, someone actually called the police on me. And the policeman told me that me and my car were spoiling the looks of that street, and we'd best get it out of there. Lucky for me, while I was pushing her down the street, a gentleman from another town, just like Faithville, stopped to help me. And when I go into that big bank in Middletown, there's always a new clerk there. It's like talking to a machine. Yes, sirree. Hardly a familiar, friendly face over there. So I guess what I'm really saying here is, do we want progress at any cost? What is it that we love about Faithville? I believe, for me, like you, that it's when you pull into Faithville, you find a smiling, happy, familiar face there. And you know, no matter where you go, you always know someone. It's like being in the family of God. You know you're home. I believe in Faithville. This week someone said to me, do what you do best. And well, what I believe that Faithville does best is take in those that are lost and hurting, like you and me, and offers them a safe harbor. And that's the kind of Faithville that I would like to see continue. Maybe not a huge and thriving Faithville, but a Faithville that's made up of people that do what they do best, and that's loving one another. And if I'm elected, that's what I'll try my best to do. Thank you kindly.
All right then, ladies and gentlemen, that does it for the speeches from our candidates. If you wouldn't mind casting your vote in the lobby before you leave, and we should know within an hour who our new town council is. Thank you so much for coming today. Bye-bye.
Hello, boys and girls. See this old clock that I have? It was my grandfather's. Have you ever noticed that the hands in the front of a clock are the things that people always look at because they're in the forefront? But if I turn this around so that you can see the working parts here inside, you'll know that they're just as important as the hands. In fact, if these little wheels and things didn't work properly, what the hands say would be meaningless. Did you know that God's family is the same way? There are those who have jobs that seem more important or get more recognition, but it really isn't true. We shouldn't think that we're better than the next person. If we're seen more or we have more than others, we're all important in God's eyes. Therefore, you don't have to show off. The Bible tells us that our gifts and talents will be known. If you are gifted, which everyone is, people will recognize it and praise you for it in due time. You may be a wonderful musician, a talented hockey player, a great speaker, or a Bible-living person producing Jesus kind of fruits in your life. Whatever it is, let others praise you and esteem you for these things, but don't do it yourself. Christians are not to be in the advertising business of self. Pride tells us to be like the hands of this clock, in the forefront. Get out where everyone will see you. Tell everyone what you're doing. But the Bible tells us just do what God has given you to do and do it with humility and you will be happy. There is no greater joy than for you to be in the center of God's will for your life.
Where is Mr. Up?
Yeah, and you know, why didn't he mention that he was a candidate?
Most likely embarrassed.
Well, he should be, too.
Now, come on, town council is open for anyone. We should at least give him an A for effort.
Who was to say that anyone was Mr. Up?
Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, I care a great deal for Mr. Up. I just don't understand why he would subject himself to the humiliation of getting in front of the entire town and making a fool of himself.
You know, I told him to stick at what he does best.
And what makes the four of you so sure Mr. Up doesn't have a chance?
That's Miss Charity. Loyal as ever. I commend you for sticking up for Mr. Up, Miss Charity, but do you really think he'd actually win? Come on.
Well, why is that?
Oh, come on, Charity. We're talking, this is Mr. Up. What does he know about managing a town? He's just a mechanic.
Yeah, well, running a town's like running a business. Mm-hmm.
That's right. And what does Mr. Up know about big business?
When one of us wins, we'll surely make him feel included in some of the decision-making.
Yeah, just so that he doesn't feel left out.
Yeah.
You guys are impossible.
Oh, Miss Charity, how about some more coffee?
Yeah, so pie. Yeah. Look at pie.
I can't believe that she thinks she's actually gonna win.
Hey, where have you been?
Well, I've been delivering Miss Rosa's car.
You mean you fixed her car all up for her?
Well, I knew how much she really loved that car. That's why I went to Middletown the other day. See, there's a gentleman there that had a car just like hers, and he was willing to sell it for parts.
Wow.
Mr. Up, please tell me you didn't loan Miss Rosa the money.
No, I wouldn't loan her any money.
Where would she get that kind of money?
Mr. Up, did you use your money to fix her car?
It was nothing, Miss Charity. Miss Rosa would do that for any one of us here. There's a lot she's done for this town that money just couldn't buy.
That's just beautiful.
Hi, folks. Here they are. The election results.
Oh,
So we're ready for this?
May the best man win?
And that's right, and no hard feelings. We all agreed that we're going to give our full support to the one who wins.
Yeah, just give us the results. The suspense is killing.
Okay. Mr. Looney, how would you like to give us a little drum roll?
I'd do that proudly.
Great. Oh, that's sweet. Thank you very much. Our new honored council member is Mr. Up.
Mr. Up, you won!
You mean the whole town voted for me?
That's right, Mr. Up. A lot of us were really touched by what you said, and we totally agree with you. Faithville is Faithville because of the people in this town, and that's the way we want it to stay. Congratulations!
Congratulations, Mr. Up!
Congratulations, Mr. Up.
No hard feelings.
Okay, good job. Anyway,
Yeah.
I can't.
Pride cometh before a fall.